What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today, MSTR. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are at about $317 now on the Sunday, right before the week's about to begin. It is 4:20 right now. Yes, let's see. Yeah, Monday tomorrow is the 21st. This is our Sunday game plan for next week and what I'm expecting to happen over the coming 5 days, right? We do have a full 5 days after all next week. Yes, we do. Looking at it here, Bitcoin, you guys, I'm assuming is on the precipice, on the brink of a break, or on the brink of a break. And we have the suspicion, the potential to see a slightly higher low, right? Drop from here a little bit and then continue to grow. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This isn't what I'm expecting to happen. I'm just throwing it out there because if MicroStrategy were to go down, if Bitcoin were to go down, MicroStrategy certainly would go down a little bit. And if MicroStrategy went down a little bit, you're at 317, go down to 265, whatever, man. It's a higher low. It's a higher low. It's a place to build from, and you'll likely grow from there. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's not my expectation. Maybe it will be once we look at some of the shorter term time frame stuff. But as of now, I very much am looking at higher prices for MicroStrategy. This could be the week, you guys. $317 right now. This could be the week, the long-awaited week, that we finally see prices above $400 again. It's been a long time, but it's been a long time coming is what it is. From a high to a low here, you're consolidating right below the 382. Oftentimes with the 382, you get this kind of behavior, right? You reject it, and then you come back down. If you go above it, you come back down, right? Stuff like this. You tip it, you come back down. You don't hug it. When you hug it, this says to me at least that you're going to break out, and you're likely going to go to the golden ratio. That target area is 392. So just below 400, forgive me if I'm wrong, to $417, somewhere in this range. Oftentimes with the golden ratio, you don't stop right at it, but you go a little bit through it. I wonder if we can find an example of that here, just based off of this low from a high to a low. No, that's not the golden ratio there. What about this high to low? No, actually, right? No, you didn't even go to it. So none of those are good examples. But oftentimes with the golden ratio, I mean, it's common enough to find resistance right at it. So maybe you don't go to $400, but it's pretty damn common to go just a little bit above it. And if we're looking at our prior areas of resistance, I would say going above it is definitely a possibility we should consider before the end of the month of April. We have 10 days left. The next 5 days are definitely in April. What about we have 5, 6, 7, 8 days left in the month as far as this goes for MicroStrategy. That's more than enough time to see the kind of growth that we're calling for, right? In fact, if we look back here, when you're at this exact same price, essentially, just a little bit higher even, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, you're all the way up at $535. And I'm not saying that just because we've done that before that you're going to do that now. By the end of the month, we'll be at all-time highs. We could be. We very well could be. If Bitcoin makes its way to new all-time highs by the end of the month, you best believe MicroStrategy could as well. But certainly by the end of next week, I think that we'd be somewhere around 392, 400, if not potentially as high as 452 by the end of next week. To the 786 there, it's very common to tear through the golden ratio and hit the 786. I shouldn't say it's very common. It's the less common outcome. It's most common to find resistance at the golden ratio, but if you are to tear through it, you'll find resistance at the 786. That's very common. And you've also got areas of resistance back here lining up with that as well. So it would make a lot of sense actually to go to 452 on a nonstop bullet train right through the golden ratio, but also it makes perfect sense to find resistance here. So tomato, 392, 452, somewhere probably above $400 is where we're going by the end of next week. That's the expectation. Your daily RSI looks pretty damn good in my opinion. You're neutral overall, yes, but you rejected the overbought zone up here, came down, rejected the oversold zone. Now you're back above the 50. You're in a prime position to see some readings in the overbought zone. When you get to the overbought zone, that's when you do your best work. Let's look at this last time here. When you were overbought, I mean, just look, that's when the party really began, right? Sure, you started down here, you formed your base, but things really got cooking once we started getting these overbought readings. We really took off. So I think we're just figuring ourselves out right now. We're moving sideways. We're in this overall consolidation phase, and once we break above this 382, you're going to get a nice pop as a result of that, right? And I really wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if next week we saw prices at 452. I would be surprised if we got anywhere above that by the end of next week, but time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Bitcoin, since Friday, hasn't really moved at all. Since Thursday, I guess, hasn't really moved at all. So I'm not anticipating any kind of gap or any significant gap. We are at this area where we like to gap a lot, but if you gap down, it'll be insignificant. If you gap up, it'll be insignificant, easy to follow through with. If we're looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, 1 hour RSI, I will say the 1 hour is actually making me, I was going to say it makes me bearish, but you found support at the 50. The rejecting off the overbought zone time and time again is not encouraging, but you're not really rolling over, are you? If you are to move down, okay, let's just talk about what would happen if you were to move down. I don't think this is going to happen, but if it does happen, let's just be aware of the possibility here, okay? Low to high, the expectation would be that you find support at 284. 284, 285, somewhere around there. If not, at the absolute low is 260. Okay, but a higher low nonetheless. You'll find support at this golden ratio zone where that area of support is there, or you'll find support at this 382. Very common maneuver to do when having a strong move, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if you bounce right off of that. But I'm not calling for that. You also have a flat base here, okay, or flat top, and you're hugging it. It really looks to me like you want to break through and see some higher price action. Your 1 hour RSI bounced off the 50. You're more postured right now to get into the overbought zone than you are to continue going lower. So we'll see how that goes. It is dependent on Bitcoin for sure. And I know a lot of people, I don't know, I actually don't even want to get on that topic. I was going to get on the topic of people who are upset that MicroStrategy owns like 2% of the Bitcoin supply. People are upset with that, but it's like MicroStrategy, it's a publicly traded company. It's a publicly owned company. If they own 2% of the supply, they don't own it, right? Their constituents own it. Their shareholders own it. So it's not quite as bad as like one entity. And yes, it is still one entity custodializing all that, but it's not as dramatic as a lot of people are making it sound. I think that what's going on here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I think there's a lot of negative spin-offs being created for MicroStrategy because there needs to be some kind of short interest. There needs to be some selling interest. There needs to be some doubt, because if everybody's just bullish, this isn't going to go up. You know what I mean? If everybody's expecting it to go up, it's going to go down, right? It's whenever you have all the bulls involved, there's no more bulls left to get involved, so it goes down, right? Whenever you have doubts, whenever you have people who are selling this thing, shorting this thing, that's actually momentum. That's fuel to the fire to take you to the upside. And I wonder if this negative narrative that's being spun for MicroStrategy strategy is if it's done. I mean, there is some logic behind it. I will agree, there is some logic behind it, but I feel like it's being pushed out so much that it feels like it's done with a purpose. And the purpose, in my opinion, is to make you miss out on this next opportunity here. This next opportunity, of course, ultimately is going to take us to prices that are above $1,000. My expectation is that we do see prices that are not just above 919, not just above the golden ratio here, but above $1,100. We'll likely see targets that are anywhere from about $1,100 to $1,700 by the end of this move. Yes, you heard me correctly, $1,700. With the 2272, $1,600 is the target area at the 2272, but oftentimes you go just above that instead of stopping right at it. So I would think that 1,700, maybe even just below 1,700 could be considered. Could we go higher? Sure, I suppose it's a possibility. Could we stop below $1,000? Sure, I suppose it's a possibility, but I really do feel confident about this $1,700 to $1,150 area by the end of June. That's the expectation, right? What would that look like? It would look something like this, I suppose, right? By the end of June, if we were to just draw a straight line. I don't think that's asking. I mean, that's not asking for a little bit, but I don't think it's asking for anything crazy. This would be a stronger move than the last move. Yeah, yes, it would be. It would be. I'm expecting it to be a stronger move than the last move. This move here, it's basically on par from a low to the high. It's basically on par with the velocity here, but it would be a bigger move overall. You're saying that we're going to see the biggest move of the cycle? Yes. Bitcoin is strategic reserve status. Michael Saylor was invited to the crypto summit at the White House, the first ever one, historically speaking. He had one of the good seats, right? Not the best seat in the house, I'll say, but one of the good seats. Crypto right now is postured, and Bitcoin specifically is postured more bullishly than it ever has been before. The fundamentals are off the chain, and as we go through, most importantly, as we go through every bull cycle, the moves only get stronger. They only get stronger. So yes, I am calling for one of the biggest moves that we've seen, and in fact the biggest move that we've seen this whole cycle. But we don't have to go all the way up to 1,700. Maybe we stop at 1,100. Maybe we stop at 1,300. That's fine too. That's been a long way to target area. Tomato, one way or another, we're going up. That's all I expect. So I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We're at $317 now. Do not get scared if we go down to 260. It could happen. It could happen really fast, and then it's over before you know it. Then we're going to the upside. Don't be scared if we go down to 280. That should be a lot less intimidating than 260. Ultimately, I'm not even expecting that we do go down. I'm just putting it on your radar in case it does happen, so that you don't panic, right? For off of a higher high. I don't want anybody panicking off of higher highs. I want you to be prepared. Don't worry about this. Worry about this. That's the move that you should worry about missing, right? It's time to get in. It's time to hold on. It's time to go long. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want. That's all I got. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.